Man charged in relation to shooting at wake for Christopher Martin's grandmother. A major breakthrough has been made in the investigation of the deadly shooting at the wake of reggae artist Christopher Martin's grandmother in Cudgegh Hill last Wednesday. Era 5 Commander Senior Superintendent of Police Christopher Phillips on Tuesday announced the arrest of 23-year-old construction worker Junior Coleman of Tegari Park, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Coleman has been charged with multiple offenses including murder, wounding with intent, possession of prohibited weapons, and gang-related activities. The incident, which left 7 wounded and 34-year-old O'Neill Spencer, also known as Taros, dead, has shaken the community. SSP Phillips confirmed that other persons of interest are being pursued, including Kemar Miller, alias Pantyman, Shane Thomas, known as Cheney Man, and Brian King, known as Brico. Several other men, known only as Maurice, Ratty, Bob Bear, and JT, are urged to report to the Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch immediately. SSP Phillips assured the public that the police are working tirelessly to bring all perpetrators to justice. Jamaican man facing lengthy prison term over alleged scheme to defraud American woman. A Jamaican man is facing a lengthy prison term on wire fraud-related charges after he appeared in U.S. court Monday for his alleged role in a long-running scheme to defraud a California woman. Dwayne Anderson, 35, of Hanover, is facing federal wire fraud charges. He was arrested and extradition on July 11 by Jamaican authorities. He had remained in custody in Jamaica since that time. According to the indictment, from as early as 2010 until September 2017, Anderson participated in a scheme to defraud an American woman. It said that using phony names, he contacted the victim by telephone, text message, and email, and falsely informed her that she had $1 million in a sweepstake. Anderson persuaded the victim, who believed the defendant's false representation, to send money to pay various fees and taxes associated with the sweepstake. He instructed the victim on how and to whom to send these payments. The indictment said Anderson repeatedly contacted the victim with additional requests to pay money and told the victim that her winnings would be forthcoming if she paid the request money. Anderson induced the victim to travel to Jamaica in September 2017 by false information, informing her that she would be able to collect her winning prize. He told the victim to bring US $1,600 in cash with her to Jamaica and instructed the victim to give the money to a driver that met her at the airport. The victim paid the purported fee but never received any of her purported winnings. Anderson is charged with 8 counts of wire fraud filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of South Dakota in February 2023 and was unsealed upon the defendant's extradition to the United States on August 22. If convicted, Anderson faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison for each count. PM Holness emphasizes that Dr. Clark's departure from the Finance Ministry will not affect Jamaica's economic trajectory. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has emphasized that the impending departure of Dr. Nigel Clark as the Finance Minister will not affect the country's economic trajectory. This as his administration is focused on creating institutions and policies, not personalities. Mr. Holness was reacting to concerns from some sections of the society following reports that Dr. Clark will be taking up a new position at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Dr. Clark will become IMF's Deputy Managing Director in October this year. Speaking at an event in Kingston, Mr. Holness noted that the matter was given careful consideration to ensure that the country's best interest is served and it remains on a stable growth trajectory. The Prime Minister said Dr. Clark's new appointment is affirmation and endorsement of Jamaica's economic policies. The Prime Minister sought to assure that he has the vice leadership pool from which to select Dr. Clark's replacement. He also pointed to attracting new talent to the political arena.
I take it as a compliment that the path that Jamaica has followed in institutional reforms, in making sure that the changes are not personality-based. Because I can hear it in the conversation, Lord, what's going to happen if Nigel not there? Minister Clark and myself have worked very hard to ensure that nothing that we do is personality-based. It's institution-based. It's creating rules, principles, policies, legislation, and above all, a culture. Because that's the only way that you can entrench legacy. Your work lives on after you by the institutions that you create. So I am not concerned. I'm happy that one of my cabinet members, which validates our efforts, can be tapped for such a high position. If ever there was an endorsement of a government's policy, that is it. Every political organization must be able to attract new talent. When I tapped Minister Clark a couple of years ago, long time, and we sat down and we were talking about what we should be doing for the country, Minister Clark wasn't in the political arena. I brought him in, and my job as Prime Minister is to continue to scout the country for the incredible talents that exist, and not just bring them into the Jamaica Labour Party, that's important, but bring them into the government for the benefit of the people. We need to create more people like Minister Clark, find the talent, but we need to start to spend a little bit more time now on the real economy, on the growth issues. We need to start to spend more time now on the bureaucracy, how to get things done quickly, not to dispense with rules, but how to develop the culture to follow rules more quickly. That requires laser-like focus and attention. A lot of issues still left to do. And I make sure I do my exercise and keep myself fit, because I intend to be at the wicket to address these matters as we go along.
Sections of Junction Road in St. Mary to undergo repairs over the next 6 weeks. The movement of traffic along a section of Junction Road in St. Mary will be restricted to single-lane access over the next 6 weeks to facilitate the construction of a retaining wall. The work, valued at $5.2 million, commenced and is expected to be completed by mid-October. The National Works Agency NWA Communications Manager Stephen Shaw explains that an existing wall was damaged and resulted in the eventuality failure of a section of the roadway. He said that as part of the project, there will be a general excavation for the foundation of the wall, the construction of rubber masonry retaining wall with parapet, and the restoration and paving of the roadway. Shaw stated that there is currently no need for a detour. However, motorists should continue to exercise caution while using the roadway and obey the instruction of the flag persons or posted signs. Growing concern about price gouging of agriculture products. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green has expressed concern about the price gouge of agriculture products, particularly in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. Speaking during a media briefing at the ministry's office in St. Andrew on Tuesday, Green said traders were allowed access to external markets to ensure the nation has adequate food supply. Once we have adequate supply, from our perspective, we know that we should be at the regular price for a number of agriculture products. I am concerned that our traders are not passing on saving of the consumers, and I am getting a lot of outrage around prices of things that have come from external markets that seem to still be in the same price high, even though the cost of source for those items are low, the minister noted. Green advised that he has raised the matter with Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Albin Hill, who has asked the Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, to conduct an investigation. What we do not want is people to be taking advantage of the challenging times by unfairly raising their prices. We are providing the access, so the consumer ultimately must benefit, Green added. In the aftermath of Category 4 Hurricane Beryl, the Agriculture Minister, in fulfillment of its role of ensuring that Jamaicans have access to food, have allowed persons to bridge the gap where there is a shortage in supply by accessing external markets for various fruits and vegetables. These include lettuce, tomatoes, sweet pepper, carrots, cantaloupes, honeydews, broccoli, cauliflower, squash, and melons. Green said despite instances of price gouging, there has still been some improvement in the prices over the last 2 weeks, pointing out that it could take up to 6 weeks for local products to be resuscitated. In the meantime, he has given farmers the assurance that sourcing some products externally is a balancing act, taking into account the levels of production and consumption at the time. Even when we allow people to access external markets, we do so in a way to supplement local production, not to replace local production. Once we get back up on our regular numbers, then there will be no need for the access for external sources, the minister noted. He also urged farmers who have some of the listed items and experience difficulty moving them to contact the Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA parish manager or marketing officer or their extension officer. You can also contact the Agro Investment Corporation AIC, especially if you're in an agro park, so that we can facilitate the movement of those items for you, he noted. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.